Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phillies House of Vidcast. Today, I'm joined by two guests. Joe, obviously, you're familiar with him. Joe, if you want to say some words.
How is everyone doing today? I'm back again on the Phillies House of Vidcast. Glad to be here.
Yep, and we're also joined by Luke. He's making his he's making his Phillies House debut. Luke, if you want to say hi to the supporters.
Oi, mate.
And the Phillies dropped the series to the San Diego Padres today. So they lost 3-2 as the bats went to sleep yet again for the second straight game. And I guess that it was just a theory that our new hitting coach had anything to do with that success that we were having a couple of games ago. So I guess that was just a short-lived thing. So this team never disappoints. I mean, it's just this team is really, really a shame. So which Joe we're going to start? Well, I'm going to give my thing about the series loss. Is it really surprising? No, because we've done this in the past when we swept out the Mets and we went out and didn't do a job against the Marlins, and that was way back a couple of months ago. So we've always done this where we've gotten a good stretch and then we just always and then we'll fall back into our old ways, and then it's just a continuing cycle. Joe, how do you feel about this difficult and tough series loss to the San Diego Padres, who are not a good baseball team? Joe, how do you feel about that?
You know what? I'm really mad because I thought we had something going for us with that Club Series, and it's just kind of sad, The Padres suck.
They do.
The only exception I would have is if we lost when we played Paddock.
Yep. That is true. It. Yeah, and the pitcher day was a bum. I was out there heckling him in the bullpen. He didn't even look that good. Luke, how do you feel about today's disappointing loss to the San Diego Padres?
I'm so disappointed. I thought we were going to win the game, and then the boys just, kind of half-sending. And, yeah, they just lost. And, Bryce, he was kind of half-sending the whole game. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, he was he definitely didn't make the best decisions, as Luke said, because he had to leave the game because of dehydration. Yes, I mean that's just this can't happen. We're trying to win a series here, and he's been our hottest player. Obviously, him and Realmuto have been our two hottest players, and we need him out in the field. And I mean the fact that he's
it's sad. It's sad.
Yeah.
If he sends some water down the hatch, then it'd be fine.
Yeah, and he's a guy. He sponsors Gatorade. Like he's a sponsor for Gatorade. He has plenty of his own liquid to drink. I mean, I
know. He could have just went in the
dugout, Gatorade sponsor.
A few cups and sent them full send down the hatch.
Exactly.
And we're fine. He plays, and we could have won.
Yep. He would have got those electric lights down his hatch. That is so true.
If we did the full double barrel shotty of the Gatorade, he'd probably be able to not be dehydrated. He would have stayed in the game and sent it with the boys.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it's just
aside from all the jokes, to be serious, it was unprofessional of him.
Very, very. And I actually thought his wife was in labor first. At first thing, we thought it was in labor. She was in labor, and then we heard that report that he had lower back soreness. And then we heard it, and then we went back to the thing. We actually thought she had labor, and then Corey Seedman came out with that thing that said he was dehydrated. So, Very unprofessional from Bryce Harper. So let's look at the scoring summary in this one. Phillies struck first. Bryce Harper walked, and then Segura doubled to center. And first of all, there was a wild pitch, and Harper was able to get the second. That's when we all thought that maybe he tweaked that lower back leg. 1-0 Phillies. Then Urias hit a 2-run on one of the top of the fourth inning to right, 2-1 San Diego, and then Segura tied it up, doubled to center. Hazley came around the score, and then in the top of the seventh inning, Austin Hedges, he's a terrible offensive catcher, but I tell you what, it was his birthday today, and boy did he make it count. He went 4 for 4 today, and he homered in the top of the seventh inning to give the Padres a 3-2 lead, and that was good enough to give them the win. So let's look at the box score in this one. Rhys Hoskins led off the game, went 0 for 4 with a strikeout. To his credit, he almost went deep. But, man, when you're struggling, you're struggling. I tell you what, it just sucks when you're trying. You just can't catch a break. I mean, he hit one right to the warning track. Oh, my goodness gracious. It was literally just an inch from getting out of the park. Goodness, it's just when you're struggling, man. I mean, he just sucks when you can't catch a break. JT Realmuto 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Bryce Harper 1 for 1 with a walk. Adam Hazley came in to replace him 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Gene Segura 2 for 4, 2 RBIs. Corey Dickerson 0 for 4 with 1 strikeout. Scott Kingery 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Cesar Hernandez 1 for 3. Sean Rodriguez started the game at third, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Brad Miller 0 for 1. Jason Vargas 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And Logan Morrison 0 for 1. So that is your box score for today's ballgame. Jason Vargas wins 5 2/3, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Your typical Jason Vargas outing doesn't really go that deep into games, but he hasn't really had like a horrible outing with the Phillies yet. Hughes got the loss of this when he went 1 1/3, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 strikeout. I mean, he just kind of had some bad luck with that home run to Austin Hedges. Still has pitched pretty well since he's come over here to Philly. Mike Warren, who I said hi to in the bullpen today, went an inning and got 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Hector has pitched an inning, 1 hit, and 2 strikeouts. So, guys, that is the summary of the game as the Phillies lose 3-2 to San Diego Padres. Your Phillies hot stiff player of the game, catcher Austin Hedges for the San Diego Padres, 4-4-4 with a run scored and 1 RBI. He was really good for them today, and he got his average up like 14 points. So he was at 183, and now he sits at 197. So it is kind of disgraceful that we let him – he's a great defensive catcher, but it's kind of disgraceful that we let him tee off of us today. Joe, how do you feel about Austin Hedges just teeing off of the Phillies today, man?
I feel like honestly he's so bad offensively that it was a miracle.
Yeah, Luke, how do you feel about that?
Like Lance Hendricks, am I right? But to be honest, all the boys are striking out. Like Scott Kingery, you got to pull through, buddy. Like, to be honest, 0 for 4 is not the way.
Yep. Well, he's a very weak 270 hitter, as someone put it today. I heard at the ballpark, and I thought that was a very good way to put it. So, yeah, I mean, just pretty much a lifeless Phillies team that we saw today. I think all 3 of us watched the game. I know, Luke, didn't you watch the game on TV?
Yeah, I watched the game.
Joe, what about you?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. So what do you make of Jason Vargas to start tonight? I'll give my thoughts on this. I thought he pitched pretty well. It's just kind of a typical Jason Vargas outing. Doesn't go deep in the games, but allow only like 2 to 3 runs. He isn't terrible. He's a lot better than Zach Eflin. He's a lot better than Nick Pivetta. He's a lot better than Jared Eichhoff, Vince Velasquez. I mean, he's not terrible. And you know what's sad? This guy isn't even good, but he's our second best pitcher in this rotation. That's just really saying something. That shows how terrible our pitching staff is. So, Joe, how do you feel about Jason Vargas's outing today?
He's like, I really don't like Jason Vargas, but you're right, he's the second best pitcher in our rotation. So there's nothing we can do, Like I say all the time, we go cheap on pitching, and it's the best we're gonna get.
Yep, Luke, how about you?
Yeah, to be honest, our bullpen is like kind of trash. Get out of my game. But Vargas, I'm not really a fan of the guy, but he is good best.
Yep. I'm not a huge fan of him either. So I don't think he's the best option, but he's a lot better than some other guys we have. I'll tell you that right now. So losing a series to San Diego Padres just really, really stings. I mean, this team is they're still a professional baseball team, but you win the first game of the series, you're getting momentum, and you just give away the next 2 games. I know we kind of touched on this at the beginning, but how frustrating is that to have it go like that, Joe?
It's very frustrating,
Yep.
It's excruciating.
No, I wouldn't say it's excruciating. It's frustrating, but I think that's taking a little bit too far. Luke, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, to be honest, Joe Gonzalez, I'm kind of a fan of the dude. He's what we have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he has a right to be upset. I mean, I think we all do. I mean, this is, not what we really expected going into the series, especially winning the first game. All you had to do is just win one of the next 2, and we couldn't do it. So it is, I guess, to Joe's point, kind of, kind of disappointing. So I think we're all disappointed. I think that's a very good way to put it. But yeah, very, very frustrating. So we got an off day tomorrow, and we go to Boston for 2 games. Drew Smiley will be pitching one of those 2. The Red Sox have been very, very hot of late. But let's look at the matchups in the upcoming series. So Aaron Nola, Chris Sale was supposed to start that game, but he was put on the IL, I believe. So it'll be Nola versus to be determined, and it'll be Porcello against Smiley. Porcello is 11-9 with a 5.49 ERA. Smiley is 2-6 with a 7.09 ERA. Going into that series, we thought it was going to be kind of a rough series with Chris Sale, but he's gone. So I think, I've heard Phillies Updates talk about it today. Phillies Updates, by the way, guys, will be coming. First of all, I want to make 2 announcements. Guy from San Diego was able to come on, and I apologize for everyone who got their hopes up that, he was going to come on. Unfortunately, these things didn't work out, and I was talking to him, I'm like, maybe we could do it next year, which is kind of a possibility. So get ready for next year. I'll probably come on next year when the Phillies and Padres play each other. I have never done that before. I never had a fan of the other team come on my videocast. Only that Mets fan that came on that one time. But I like to do like a daily recap.
Shout out to Supreme League, right?
Yes.
Victor.
Yep. Okay. Let's take a look at this Boston series. Aaron Nola on the mound, game 1. Before I lost my chain of thought here. I was talking about this guy from San Diego. So he's going to be coming on next year. And Phillies Updates will be joining the videocast on Tuesday. So things change all the time with this. So I thank you guys for your cooperation. So Joe, how confident are you going into this Red Sox Phillies series?
I feel like that. I honestly don't know what's ahead of us with this team. That's all I have to say.
Okay, I don't know why it's funny to you, but okay.
What do you say?
Yeah. Okay. Since they don't want to talk, I will. Apologies
Luke just said something funny. He said Barry Bonds was on the Red Sox. So I started laughing.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Joe.
No, but in all seriousness, aside from Luke's joke, stop. That with this Red Sox series, I'm really thankful we don't have to face Chris Sale.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah.
If we can pitch around Mookie Betts and Jackie Bradley and Benintendi, some of those players, we should be fine. But that's basically it. Their pitching's not too good besides Chris Sale.
Yep.
So I think we should be fine.
Yeah. Yep. I think that a sweep is definitely realistic here. Luke, what are your thoughts on this Red Sox Phillies series?
Yeah, I think the Red Sox are going to have a bit of an advantage with their pitching staff. But other than that, I think I'm pretty confident going into this.
Yep.
We have different opinions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think if their pitching stays healthy, they're going to be good. They have David Price and Rick Porcello and Chris Sale. We were pretty decent, but they're kind of inconsistent. They're pretty much their whole entire tenures with the Red Sox. So I guess that's a pretty good point. So the Phillies have 2 off days this week. So it's definitely going to be an interesting schedule for them. Again, very, very disappointing way to end off this homestand. Obviously, you sweep out the Cubs, and what a terrible performance out of the Phillies these past 2 games. I mean, you should have won last night, and you should have won tonight. And we should have won today. We should be sitting here. I mean, I don't want to say we should be 6-0 after. I mean, that's a lot to ask for, but I mean, you kind of have to. And it's kind of a shame you had to end off on this bad note. But I want to say this team can turn around, but they're notorious for doing this and getting our hopes up, and it's not coming through. And it's kind of getting old. So I don't know what to really expect out of this team anymore. Joe, so we're gonna wrap it up here. First of all, Bryce Harper's wife, Kayla Harper, her baby's gonna be due any day now. So we'll see what happens with that. Obviously he might miss a game. I think a lot of fans are hoping that he could Kayla could have that baby when during an off day. But I tell you what, family comes first. And if the baby is born on a game day, then Bryce should not play. He should not play. He should be with his wife and his dad and his mom and Kayla's mom and dad. They all the family should be together. And he should not worry about baseball. He should be worried about his new baby son. So, Joe, any final closing thoughts before we end this video?
Nothing really. Shout out to Bryce Harper having a kid and Kayla Harper. Good for him.
Yep.
He'll definitely be a slugger.
Yep. All right, Luke. What about you?
I wish the best of luck to Bryce Harper and the boys for having a child. So shout out to.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Yeah, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'd like to thank Joe for coming on. I also like to thank Lou for coming on. Thank you guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, so definitely won't be the last time you hear from these guys. So thank you all so much for watching. Please smash the like on this video. Please turn on the notification bell if you haven't yet. Please subscribe. Please tell your friends about these videos. Please check out the social media link in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am Luke, and again, I apologize that, this usually when I have a couple guests on, it's kind of hard. The sound quality isn't great, and there's sometimes there's some chit chatting back and forth. So I like to apologize for the some of the goofiness that transpired in this video. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Luke, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.